It's orange, the light's
live?
orange.
It's
There
on,
it is.
It's on.
Thank you.
We're ready. We're on.
I thought I had it already on.
You
We're
did.
live?
We're on.
All right.
We're
All right,
live.
Welcome to the 8 a.m. agenda briefing. At 9 a.m., we'll have a call to order from Chairwoman Barbara Aycock, invocation by Chairwoman Barbara Aycock, then our Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Chris Gurley. We'll have an approval of the minutes to approve the August 5th, 2025 minutes. We'll have discussion and adjustment of the agenda and approval of that. There's no adjustments. Y'all don't have any other adjustments, do you? Special presentations, we'll have recognition of the Wayne County Leadership Institute graduates. Number 4, we'll have an employee anniversary pins presentation. And then number 5, we'll have a presentation by Regional Vice President of Trillium, Victoria Jackson. We have a couple of 9:30 public hearings. Number 6 is to receive public comments on an amendment to the Wayne County Mobile Home Park Ordinance to apply the ordinance standards to recreational vehicle parks. The board may take action following the hearing. Number 7 is to receive public comments on an amendment to Chapter 6, Article 2 of the Wayne County Code of Ordinances entitled Agricultural Districts to include provisions allowing for enhanced voluntary ag districts. The board may take action following the hearing. And we move on now to our consent agenda. And Mr. Boswell, if you would go over our budget amendments.
All right, good morning.
Morning.
We're going to start with number 514. This is a budget amendment for a prior year. This is from the tax office. These are fees that are generated through forced collection methods like foreclosures, bank and rent attachments, wage garnishments. We are recognizing the revenue plus the expenditure in the tax lines. It comes in through our tax files and it hits our Fund 774, and we only recognize these amounts one time per year. So fund balance is temporarily used because of a delay when the property is sold, and the collection amounts will vary. So the total is $75,313 in revenue with expense of $79,489 and a temporary usage of fund balance of $4176. The next budget amendment is also for a prior year. This is for the Jetport. This is to get things closed out for fiscal year 24-25 so we can begin our audit. This is to transfer funds from the Jetport. It's a temporary transfer from the general fund to cover expenses until grant reimbursements are received. The Department of Transportation, Division of Aviation, will reimburse the county for several large projects that we have going on, like terminal improvements, perimeter fence, and airfield drainage. These funds will be returned to the general fund once the reimbursements are received. Moving on to the current year budget amendment number 49. This is from the Sheriff's Office. This is to record receipt of revenues for controlled substance tax from the North Carolina Department of Revenue.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
I'm slow this morning. Back to the Jetport and the funds. That is normal procedures in which the county has to advance the funds and be reimbursed from grant reimbursements. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Most grants are a reimbursement.
Yes, sir.
So this is nothing out of the ordinary.
No, sir.
Okay, thank
It
you.
just happened at the end of the fiscal year, so in order to make sure we're good for our audit, we have to make this entry.
And that was for the drainage?
That's for terminal improvements, drainage, and perimeter fence.
Terminal improvements as in the parking lot? Or does it say?
The design of the terminal building.
Oh, design, okay.
On the 2.8 million, is that the total amount the fence cost, or is that?
I think that's close to what it
Yeah,
costs.
I thought it was.
A whole lot of fence.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And the final budget amendment is number 64. This budget amendment is to request the use of debt proceeds from the DSS Health Construction Project for the payment of overtime wages for IT department staff. The overtime would cover the hours worked by our IT staff for evenings and weekends to move and set up IT equipment required for a successful relocation of services to the new facility. Allowing the IT department staff overtime pay will ensure the relocation and setup of IT infrastructure and its completion effectively and on schedule with minimum disruption of services.
And we are checking to see if we can be reimbursed any of that.
We did, and we can be, but by the time that all that is settled out, we are only allowed to collect on DSS's part and only 50% of DSS's part. So that equates to a maximum of about $4,500.
Better than nothing. Thank you.
You are welcome. That is all that I have.
Okay, thank you, Angie. Moving on to number 9 is a motion to approve the final plat for Hunter's Trace Section 2. And we'll have Barry Gray come up.
All right, good morning.
Morning.
This is the second section of Hunter's Trace. I think you saw the first phase of this just a couple of months ago. They were not quite finished with this last phase, so they have submitted it separately. Since this is a final plat, all the improvements are in. There are 24 lots. This is out on Hooks Road, where Herman Hooks Road comes in. Herman Hooks Road actually dead ends up against 795. It's on the west side of 795.
Was that the Hooks Farms there that
It
was
what,
sold?
ma'am?
Was that the Hooks Farm that was sold there on 222?
It was part of, no, it wasn't part of that farm, but it is, it was a Hooks property, but it wasn't the same ones as the Hooks farms. But the average lot size is about 28,000 square feet, which is about 6/10 of an acre. We do have a built to standards letter from DOT, and then we have sent this to planning board. Planning board does recommend approval.
Who's building it?
This is a group out of Raleigh that is doing this. Triangle Land Developers, I believe is what they're
Yeah,
called.
yeah.
FD Raleigh NC. I think it's Triangle Land Developers.
Track, I mean, like a track home builder type deal? Is that-
I don't know yet. They haven't disclosed that at this point. They haven't issued any permits or actually sold the lots to a builder at this point.
So it's in within a half a mile of the voluntary ag.
Yes.
Is that the one that backs up to Juniper Creek, or is that another one?
The Voluntary Ag District.
No, that's.
Oh, this, yes, I believe, think that might be it right there on the back, yep.
Well, go ahead and add on to Fremont School. Sorry about that.
Any questions?
They gotta send you enough to replace what you remember.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, sorry.
And those 200
Thanks,
bids
Mary.
go to me, or go to Fremont.
Number 10 is our late elderly and disabled exclusion applications. And there are quite a few of those. They've all been vetted by the tax office. And then we also, number 11 is our late disabled veteran exclusion applications. And then number 12, we have a motion to cancel the September 2nd, 2025 Board of Commissioners regular meeting. And 13, we have a motion to approve the sale of surplus property located at 106 South Johnston Street in Mount Olive, as requested by the town of Mount Olive.
This was a surplus property that the town received an offer on. It's a prior foreclosure that has been jointly owned for several years. The offer was $8,500. That was approved by the town of Mount Olive. They went through upset bidding, didn't receive any offers, and they notified all the adjoining property owners.
So let me ask you a question on that right there. Is that piece of property, if they sell it to whomever, is that piece of property already got a water meter and a sewer tap on it? And if so, could they build on that?
I do not know.
Depends on their, probably so at that size. I don't know what their zoning is. You'd have to research it, but.
Right, but
I
I
would
mean,
assume that there was at one point a utility hookup there that,
so that allows them to build on that piece of property.
I don't know historically if there was a house there or
Right,
not, but
I
if there
got you.
was, yes.
If there's a okay, I got you. Well, there would have been a tap if there was a house there, right? All right, thank you.
Okay, any other questions on that? Moving on to new business, number 14 is a motion to accept the tax collector's settlement for calendar year 2024 taxes and prior years. This is something we do every year. Number 15 is a motion to approve an order directing the tax collector to collect the taxes charged in the tax records and receipts for calendar year 2025 and all prior years' outstanding taxes. Number 16 is a motion to adopt a resolution by the County of Wayne authorizing execution of the opioid settlements with secondary opioid manufacturers, Purdue Pharma LP and the Sackler family, and approving the third supplemental agreement for additional opioid funds. Number 17 is a motion.
Go back to that last one, kind of explain that to us a little bit, or to explain it to me.
this one, I thought we were gonna do it at 9.
Normally, we would do that in an open meeting, we can go over it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
That'll be fine.
Fine.
Number 17 is a motion to adopt a resolution to place a 1/4 of 1 cent local sales tax on the March 3rd, 2026 ballot. We'll move out of that into county manager's report, then we move to Board of Commissioners committee reports. Do we have any closed session?
We do.
We do have closed session, and then we'll adjourn after that.
Can we go into closed session
We can do
now?
it now and get it done before 9.
All right, I'll move we go into closed session.
Have a motion to go in closed session?
And that would be to discuss matters relating to location or expansion of industries within the county and to consult with your attorney to retain attorney-client privilege.
Okay, we're back in open session.
You can take a break till then.
Okay, we'll take a 5-minute break. Good morning and welcome to the August 19th board meeting. Invocation will be Chairman Barbara Aycock. Can we bow our heads, please? Dear God, in a world filled with division, we beseech you to foster unity among our government leaders. Help them set aside their differences and work together for the common good of our nation. Amen. Pledge allegiance by Commissioner Gurley.
Please rise and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Gurley. Do I have a motion for approval of August 5th, 25 minutes?
So moved.
Have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Daughtry.
All those in favor? Unanimous, it passes.
Mr. Crumpler, do we have
Yes,
any
we
adjustments?
do have one adjustment to the agenda, adding item number 18 under new business. It's a motion to upfront costs for the raising of a power line located over a proposed railroad spur at Park East. Also including upfronting the cost for the relocation and encasing of Wayne Water District's water lines. Both of these are reimbursable from grant funds, and both of these are pending county manager and county attorney approval.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the adjusted agenda for August 19th.
Got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Gurley.
All
To
those in
adjust.
favor, raise your right hand, please. Unanimous, thank you.
All right, Mr. Crumpler?
Okay, we move into our special presentations, and item number 3 is our recognition of Wayne County Leadership Institute graduates.
Good morning.
Morning.
Well, thank you for giving us a few minutes of your time to help us celebrate our Wayne County Leadership Institute graduates. As you might recall, 2 years ago, we started this program to develop the leadership of our staff. And it's a program that's devised of current leaders and up-and-coming leaders in each department. So to kick this off, we're going to have a quick little video for you to celebrate this.
It sounds by them, I don't know what to.
Can you restart it, Giorgio?
I'm going to.
Thank you.
I think they just need to turn up the podium possibly. Let me just make sure that the volume's up.
Technical difficulties.
Modern technology. Be worse, it could be an electric car.
Said they tested it yesterday. Ginger, if you just want to go on with the presentation.
There you go.
There it goes.
The Wayne County Leadership Institute is a professional development program designed to build stronger leaders across Wayne County government. Each fall, a select group of supervisors and managers begin a series of monthly full-day sessions that run through late spring. The goal is simple: to strengthen understanding of how our county departments work together and to deepen knowledge of the laws, regulations, and principles that guide local government. Participants tour departments, take part in leadership training, and gain hands-on experience, all while building relationships that cross departmental lines. By fostering open communication, encouraging questions, and making connections, the Leadership Institute helps our future leaders see the bigger picture and how their roles fit into the work we do for Wayne County residents every day.
Thank you very much. So at this time, I would like to ask two of our participants, Kendall Haar and Chris Barnes, to step up and just give you a couple of thoughts of their experience in this program.
Ladies
morning. How are y'all doing?
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Kendall Haar, and I've been in HR with the county for a little over 2 years. I was very lucky to be asked to participate in the Leadership Institute this past year and wish I could continue into the next cohort. Our monthly sessions quickly became something I looked forward to, and I miss it now that it's over. Over several months, our leaders, Ginger, Megan, Sarah, and Joel, created adventures. They coordinated speakers from each department and taught us things about Wayne County that we wouldn't have known otherwise. The insight we gained about Wayne County was only something that we could have achieved through the Leadership Institute. There were so many wonderful leaders willing to speak with us about their areas of expertise, the history of Wayne County, and how they've developed their leadership skills through their career. We got a front row seat to the strides that Wayne County is making in economic development and to grow our community. We also witnessed how the partnerships with surrounding counties and corporations directly impact Wayne County and its progression and success. Most importantly, we were given the opportunity to have fun getting to know each other and develop strong friendships with coworkers that we hardly knew at the start of the program. I've made so many great memories with this group, and the time that we've spent learning together will always be very meaningful to me. The experience was not only educational, but so enjoyable, always an adventure, and gave us the tools that we need to become Wayne County's future leaders. To any of our employees who are on the fence about joining the next cohort, please consider it. If I haven't convinced you already, the fact that lunch and snacks are provided should help you make up your mind. I'm extremely grateful to have been a part of this program, and I'm grateful that someone saw qualities in me and all of us that could someday make us a strong leader. The Leadership Institute sets Wayne County apart from other employers in the fact that they are invested in improving in our future careers and have chosen a great program that pours knowledge into their employees. I am better because of this opportunity, and again, I'm so grateful. Thank you for allowing me to share my experience with you.
Thank you.
Chris,
Really, really good.
to a fact involved.
I know, I don't know how I'm gonna come to kind of compare with that, but, I will second what Kendall was saying, absolutely great program. Extremely proud to be a part of it, very privileged to be a part of it. And I wanna kind of tell you, my huge takeaway from this was the knowledge, right? And I'll kind of sum it up with one of my most favorite experiences that we had, which was at the landfill, all right? Now, hear me out on this one, okay? So, I know my fellow members of the cohort here are probably gonna say the highlight for me was the hydro seeder, okay? And Chris knows what I'm talking about here. Commissioner Gurley knows exactly what I'm talking about. He'll explain it to you later, but that was a good highlight. But the landfill, there was so many complexities there, right, that I did not know. I honestly think that we should teach this in school. I left there thinking, why didn't I know about this, right? Why did I not know how a landfill worked? It just wasn't common knowledge. So I think just from that experience alone, it was a fantastic thing for me to learn and to grow. And certainly the relationships that I have with these folks behind me it's just a great benefit. So thank you again for support of this program. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of it.
There's always a second job for you at the land.
If they'll let me do the hydro seeder, I'm sold. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
At this time, I would just like to ask the graduates of this year's cohort if they could please stand. We're so proud of the work they did. We had a great time. They spent about 60-plus hours pouring into their professional development. So if you would just join me in a round of applause. And I'll just end this by saying one of my favorite sayings, and I live by this, is that if I look around a room and I'm the smartest person in the room, that's the wrong room for me to be in. And the only way to be better is to surround yourself with people who are better at what they do. And I learned so much from each person in this program. And with my co-leaders, Megan Wilson, Sarah Larson, Joel Gilley, they are truly experts in their fields, and they really made this program spectacular. So it was my pleasure to work with them on this. Thank you again, and we look forward to being back here in October to introduce to you our next cohort. Thank you.
Great job, y'all. It's important, when we look at departments and, you have a field of expertise and you go in here, and we have 30 different agencies and over 800 full-time employees, close to 1,000 total. But you don't know what the department next to you does, or you don't know what this agency does, you don't know how it works, you don't know what those staff people go through every day. So this was a good program, I'm proud of the program, and it teaches these people, these future leaders, it broadens their knowledge about county government and makes us better in our jobs. And so when people ask them out, you know, what does this agency do or what does it not do, you know, they have a perspective now that they didn't have before. So it's very important, and I'm thankful for the ones that have put it on and take the time and spend the effort for that professional development. So thank you. Next, we'll move on to our employee anniversary pins.
We need just a second here.
While they're getting set up, when I call your name, please come and stand up here so we can do a group picture afterwards with the commissioners. Are we ready? All right. We'll begin with our one-year recipients, Erin Rose, Maxwell Center. Charlene Anderson, Human Resources. Seth Smith, Animal Control. Delia Hardy, Board of Elections. Richard Castleberry, Detention Center. Brandon Johnson, Facility Services. Sarah Harris, Detention Center. Jacqueline Williams, Public Health Family Planning. And Tracy Brinson, Public Health Maternity Care. That concludes our one-year recipients. And if I say your name wrong, I'm sorry, I'm trying. So my apologies. All right, we ready? Okay, these are our 5-year. We'll begin with Teresa Brown from the Tax Department. Kiana Spate with the Detention Center. Antonio Garcia with the Sheriff's Office. Andrew Cox with the Sheriff's Office. Nathan Jensen with the Sheriff's Office. Thank you, Nathan. And Chelsea Infante, Public Health Maternity Care. Did I say that even close? If not, it's cool that your name is Infant and you're in maternity care. Either way, that's really cool. All right, that's it for our 5-year PIN recipients. And now we move on to our 10-year, beginning with Philip Perry, Finance Department. All right, Denitra Shuford with Veteran Services. And Tina West, Human Resources. We should be good. Thank you. Thank you all.
Chip, can you, Charlene, I think you're gonna get hazard pay, had to deal with Michael all the time, so. Yeah, you understand, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she's right there behind Kim. Yeah. She's right behind Kim.
He's with True.
All righty. Under special presentations, moving along to item number 5 is a presentation by Regional Vice President of Trillium, Victoria Jackson. Welcome.
Morning.
Well, good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Jackson, how are you?
Well, thank you all for having me. Am I controlling the?
It's pull that.
Mouse? Oh, perfect, thank you. Thank you so much again for having me. I will give you the express version because I know that there's no way that I can tell you all that we do within this short amount of time. But also know that I've got some packets there. It has my business card, my direct cell phone. I don't want you having to call a call center. Please, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me directly, okay? So most of you know that we're one of 4 LME MCOs in the state of North Carolina. We are considered the largest geographically because we have 46 counties that we're covering. From a population standpoint, I believe it's Alliance Health that's the largest in terms of population of coverage. Our mission, is we want to make sure that we're building community well-being through partnerships, improving solutions, and transforming lives. And so what that means is making sure that we are connected locally to the community so we know what the needs are, that bi-directional communication. So ultimately, our goal is to make sure that we're managing care for the most severe behavioral health individuals effectively and efficiently. Our total population is a little over 3.1 million that we cover, and within that 3.1 million, we service 3 health plans. We have the Tailored Plan, that's one of our newest health plans. Not only are we providing or managing behavioral health care through the Tailored Plan, but we're also managing physical health, pharmacy, long-term support services, and non-emergency medical transportation. So it's more so from a whole person perspective. And within that plan, we have about 51,000 members that we're serving. We also manage the Medicaid Direct Health Plan. That's that older health plan just for behavioral health services, that fee-for-service model. We have about 163,000 members that we are serving in that plan. And then lastly, we have the State Health Plan, which is those individuals who are uninsured or may not have enough coverage. And so we have about 287,000 folks that we're covering under that plan. Now, these numbers fluctuate, so they're fluid. Members can change plans day to day. So you'll see those numbers shift throughout the year. Talked a little bit about local connections matter. Given that we are 46 counties, we had to come up with a way that we could stay locally connected. And how we did that was we developed 5 regions. Wayne County sits in the South Central region. It's a 9-county region, and it spans from Sampson County all the way over to Carteret County. We have 5 regional advisory boards with local appointed representatives. We have 5 consumer and family advisory committee. That committee is made up of people with lived experience. They are our advocates for folks that are experiencing behavioral health or IDD or substance use needs. Each region has a dedicated regional vice president. We also have community engagement and empowerment staff along with community liaisons. And the reason for that is, again, to make sure that we're staying locally connected. Specific to Wayne County, what I can tell you is that you all have some strong representation for Wayne County on our Regional Advisory Board. We have Commissioner Barbara Aycock and Mr. Steve King, who is here. Mr. King, he chairs the Regional Advisory Board, so he leads us for the region. And so we are grateful for their participation, and we thank you for appointing them. We also have our Consumer and Family Advocacy committee member, who is Miss Virginia Gilbert. She represents Wayne County. She has been in the system for a very long time, working in the system for a very long time. So we are always appreciative of Miss Virginia's input. And then there is a typo on the slide. I am not Dave Peterson, but I represent you all in terms of the regional vice president role. We also have Terrell Austin, who is your associate regional vice president, and then Melissa, AKA Missy Reese. She has over 20-plus years of experience, and she is the community liaison for Wayne County. And she has actually been active in Wayne County for a very long time. Just to give you a few data points, overall for the 46 counties, we served from July to December of 2024. We served over 80,000 unique individuals, and then you can see the breakdown based off of disability groups. So a little over 57,000 for mental health, 15,000 for substance use, and then a little over 18,000 for individuals with intellectual developmental disabilities. We spent over $802 million in services just in that particular time frame. And then specific to Wayne County, we've served 3,574 individuals during that time frame, and you can see the breakdown listed on the slide deck. But also note within these numbers, the total is unduplicated, which means that an individual could receive mental health and substance use services at the same time, or vice versa, in terms of any three of those categories. Just to talk a little bit about Tailored Plan, we implemented Tailored Plan July 1 of 2024, so we just recently celebrated our 1-year anniversary. I can tell you it was a heavy lift to do that, and we did that on the heels of a consolidation that we had to get done within 45 days. We had lesson learned. Anytime we're implementing a plan of this nature or this magnitude, we're going to find that there were some things that we could have done better. And so listed on the slide, you'll see that we experienced increased call volume for member and provider calls, which gave an indication that we needed to increase our communication about the changes. And then also there was a need for increased collaboration with transportation. That was a little rocky at the beginning as we worked with our broker and the transportation vendors. And then lastly, there was a need for extension of provider flexibilities, and that comes with working more closely with the department on those flexibilities. The other thing I want to remind you about, I think last year we talked about the standard plans. We are not the only health plan that is managing care in your county. There's private companies that implemented what we call the standard plan, and that was in 2021 of July. You see listed here AmeriHealth, Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Health of North Carolina, WellCare, and Carolina Complete. So on this particular slide, it's just a refresher. Many of you already know about Medicaid transformation. It is a 3-phase approach that occurred in North Carolina. We talked about the standard plan implementation that happened in July 2021. We also had the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians tribal option that took place during that time frame, which covers individuals that are tribal members and their families. Then the Medicaid Direct, LME MCOs were still covering that plan. Phase 2 happened last year, Tailored Plan, we talked about that. And then now, I just want to park here for a moment. Phase 3. We are currently in Phase 3, and that is the foster care plan. It's a statewide plan that will serve children who's in the foster care system and their families. Last year, the Department of Health and Human Services awarded Blue Cross Blue Shield that plan. So they are planning to operate starting December 1st of this year. Their plan is called Healthy Blue Care Together. What that means for us as an LME MCO is that we got to work very closely with Healthy Blue. We also have to work very closely with the state to make sure that children do not have uninterrupted care, and their families as well, as we go through that transition. We're looking at about transitioning approximately 11% of our membership over to Blue Cross Blue Shield. Also in your packet is a fact sheet related to the Children and Family Specialty Plan, also known as Foster Care Plan. So I want to make sure that you all have as much information on that plan because, again, we're currently making that transition. A couple of other data points here across the board for our 46 counties. You will see that the majority of individuals who are receiving Medicaid services are covered under the private plans. They cover about 72%, the standard plans, and then we cover about 28%. And then specific to Wayne County, we cover a little over 27%, and the standard plans cover 73%. So again, just to give you some numbers to show who all the health plans are and how much of a population they're covering. We also did some town halls last year, and in this particular slide here, we just wanted to show you that there were several themes that came from the town halls, and it was, including requesting for increased communication with providers and members, the need for streamlined processes, service expansion, and requests for administrative flexibilities, and how providers offer services. So we got some really great feedback during the town hall, and then on the next bullet, you'll see all the things that we implemented to address those themes. To give you an update on the projects that we're doing, this is just an insert. We're involved in a multitude of projects, but we wanted to just give you a few that we have here in Wayne County that's occurring. We have the option for substance use prevention in schools. That's working with the schools to address fentanyl abuse. We also distribute naloxone kits as well as testing strips. We have done a number of summits and re-entry simulations. We have CHEST Health. CHEST stands for Center for Health Enhancement System Studies. So we've partnered with the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services to have this app, develop this app, where it's for individuals who are in recovery. So part of the app, which was a very nice feature, is that it offers peer support specialists 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So if an individual who is in recovery need assistance, say at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, they can actually access a peer support specialist on this app. So it's a really great program. We also offer funding for small businesses, for individuals who have intellectual developmental disabilities, either to start up a business or if they currently have a business, they can apply for funding to help support it. And then lastly, I'll mention Tula, which is our Trillium Ultimate Living Assistant. We actually received a couple of awards for this particular program. What it is, it's an innovative technology-based program for individuals with IDD. So it's a tablet or a piece of equipment in their home that will help increase their quality of life, right? It will remind them about medications, when to take medications. It can also let individuals know if there's a door open in their house. So it's a multitude of things that this particular device can do. And then lastly, I think this is the most important piece in this slide deck, and that is making sure that individuals know how to access care. We have a 24/7 behavioral health crisis line they can contact. We also have a member and recipient service line that operates Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Currently, we have about a little over 1,600 providers in our network. That's across the state and some bordering states as well. And our role is to connect members to those providers. So I'll stop there and address any questions that you may have.
Anybody have any questions?
I got some. Go ahead.
Madam Chair, first off, Ms. Jackson, I want to thank you for what you're doing in our community. I know it's not easy. There's a lot of projects that are taking place. One of my questions for you is with some of the challenges that are taking place coming out of DC, how are you preparing for those changes?
So right now, we are working very closely, and thank you for the question. It's a really great question. We are working very closely with the Department of Health and Human Services. We know that the department had put out a message that providers are going to take a cut based off of the current situation. It's looking at, I think, about 3% across the board for providers. And then some providers are gonna take steeper cuts, which is 8 to 10%, and those are your inpatient and residential providers, and then also some behavioral health therapy providers. So for us, we have to look at our budget, right? And we have to follow the rules and regulations by the department. So we have to take guidance from them. Some of the things that we are doing is trying to look at it from a holistic standpoint. You know, what can we do with less, right? You know, how can we maintain services and manage those services with less? But right now, currently, we're in heavy discussion with the department.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Sure.
Commissioner Gurley?
Yes, ma'am. What's the status on our local vendors or facilities that we have here in Wayne County? What's the status on that?
Is it any particular vendor?
Well, I'm just
or-
asking, just name them, but name all the vendors that we have here in Wayne County.
Oh, well, you know, I'll be here forever. if
So
I name
we've got
all
that
of them.
many vendors in Wayne County?
Yes, we have behavioral health.
No, I'm talking about actual individual, so companies, we've got companies in Wayne County that take care of that. More
Yeah.
than one?
Mhm.
So our citizens are not having to travel out of county for anything?
Well, right now, based off of the last numbers that I received, is that we are meeting the standard that's set by the state. And we have to make sure that persons can receive services within a 30-mile, 30-minute radius. And depending on if they're rural or urban, if it's an urban county, it may be 45 miles and 45 minutes. Now, in terms of brick and mortar in Wayne County, we have a host of providers. And I can tell you that we also have had to add in those physical health providers too. And for our physical health network, it is an open network, which means that any physical health provider can access our services as, be a part of our network as long as they're willing to be.
So can you provide us with a list?
Well,
Or-
sure, we
Ms.
have,
Barber, you got that
our
list?
database.
Oh, you don't?
Yeah, online, we have a provider choice database, and so it lists by county all the providers that's within your county. I mean, you have your.
Do you mind emailing
Sure.
Ginger?
Yeah.
Email Ginger that list of people. I know we had one instance, if not more, we had a problem with getting somebody placed in a facility. Are we more responsive to that now than what we were in the past?
What I can tell you is that is still a challenge. It is a challenge across the state. Residential treatment, especially for our children, is a challenge. And so we have to work very hard, and we know that there are long wait times for those residential facilities. We are working closely with DSS because we know that sometimes children are having to stay in the office at DSS, and we do not want that to happen. We also know that there's times where children are in the EDs for a long period of time, and so we have to work closely with all of the residential providers across the state to find out who has openings, and then also some of those residential providers that we contract with out of state as well. But Commissioner Gurley, yes, is still a concern in regards to residential treatment.
So is there any plans for any construction of any, that you know of, any facilities that would be able to assist in placing them faster?
Yes, so we most recently worked with the Department of Health and Human Services on funding, because that was one of their strategic initiatives, is building up the crisis system. And so in Lenoir County, we have supported a provider there to do a behavioral health urgent care. We've also supported providers to do facility-based crisis services too. May not specifically be here in Wayne County, but they may be in bordering counties or other counties within our catchment area. But we do have a host of projects that we're working on to build up that crisis
So
arena.
would you mind sending in that same email those facilities? I mean, I would think that would be top priority. I think I saw y'all give the city a grant for a playground or something.
Right, that was
Yeah.
part of the all-inclusive
Yeah.
playground grant that
Yeah.
has been operated for years.
But I understand, but I would think that the facilities and something like that would be a little bit more, important, I would say.
They are priority, yes, sir.
Well, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I just want to add to what Commissioner Gurley was saying. That's something that we are going to have to look at also. It's going to be cuts, and we don't know where those cuts are going to go. So we have to make sure we're on top of that also. because it's just not, a Trillium. It's gonna be a host of things that's coming down from DC on down that's gonna end up affecting our children here, citizens, just everyone. So I think that we have to stay aware. But that's it.
Ms. Jackson, what can we do as a board to go into these cuts? You know, what can we do?
Well, a lot of what we're experiencing and around, our advocacy groups is advocating for the funding specifically for residential in those areas that we're seeing the cuts in. And to Commissioner Foster's point, if we're trying to build up residential and crisis array, and then we're seeing cuts that's coming, that puts a burden on our providers. And they are the ones that's on the front line serving the individuals from day to day. So any advocacy that you all could do would be.
Do you think any of the providers with the cuts will pull out of the programs?
It's a possibility. We have seen that occur before with providers. And it's about sustainability, and then also having the workforce to provide the services efficiently and from a qualitative standpoint as well.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
And if I misstate this, then hopefully someone in the audience may correct me, but my concern is hearing that Wayne County is having to provide staff to fly our patients to out of state, be with them for a period of time, the overtime cost, and the travel expenses. And it just seems to me as if that should be a service provided by Trillium. Trillium ought to reimburse the county for those expenses. And have I misstated something here? No?
No,
So if there is not a facility here that was located, then we will have to locate a facility somewhere else in another state. And if that facility is willing to take that child, then we'll have to.
And we're having to send our staff to actually fly and pay for the transportation, is that correct? And I think that's a bit much, especially if you are charged with actually paying for transportation. So I hope you will look at reimbursement to the counties for payment of that transportation.
Yes, sir, I'll definitely take that back.
Okay.
So
I had a question.
how many, do you remember, if, of course, I may be wrong, but how many billions of dollars was it that was put in this, into this program? Was it?
That we're managing? Our budget is about 3.1 billion, a little.
Would it
over
be
3 billion.
3.1 billion?
Yeah. That was the last number.
And do you know what, I mean, you said that's your budget.
Yes.
That's operating budget per year? Or is that what?
Per year, our last budget, yes, was about $3 billion. And most of that budget goes to services.
So can you break that down in that email as well?
Sure.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I just want to thank y'all for what you do. The older you get, the softer your heart gets. And my concern is children with disabilities and even grown people with disabilities. It's, somebody's got to help them. I don't know where the money's gonna come from, but I just, a child with disabilities, it just tears my heart. Just thank you for what you're doing.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It is not easy, and I can share that my mother has schizoaffective disorder, and she's had it for many years, and it takes a village to support her, right? And not only that, I lost my brother to suicide, so I definitely understand what it means that for having good quality services and working together as a unit to make sure that folks are taken care of. It is a moment by moment, minute by minute, second by second job to make sure that we're meeting the needs of the folks that we're serving, and it takes that. And we are responsible for managing their care.
I mean, you know, you look at the local news and, every once in a while you'll see where there's some facilities that's mistreated children and grown-ups. And I just don't understand why people can do things like that.
Oh, yes,
Commissioner
just a
Foster.
quick question. So, clarity for me. Just say we have a child that's abused, being taken out of the home. There's nowhere for him to go. DSS, they have the child. Who's responsible for that care? Because with Trillium being behavioral health, that's a different issue. How do we solve those issues as far as transportation, who's taking care of the child, facilities, everything else? I just wonder, because it could be a case by case to who pays for what.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Can you break that down for me a little
Sure,
bit?
Absolutely. So we are an insurance company, a managed care organization that is responsible for services that is designated by the clinical coverage policies by the state. And so we're responsible for paying for those services for individuals that meet medical necessity that, for one of those services, either, through the clinical coverage policy or on the state side, the service definitions. In terms of personal care, that is not our area. In terms of housing, transportation, we do offer managed non-emergency transportation, but that's for individuals who are part of the tailored plan. So it all depends on, it is a case-by-case basis, and it all depends on eligibility criteria for each of those medically necessary services. And to your point again, it's really a collective effort by the organizations in the community. We've seen situations where we want to help. We may have a child or we may have an adult that we want to help and provide the managed care and assist with connections to the providers, but they may not necessarily be our members because, again, you have other health plans that is also servicing your area as well. And so then that's the coordination that has to occur. If we find out that there's an individual that's part of Blue Cross Blue Shield, then we need to make sure that we let the guardians know, or the family know, or whoever the organization that we're working with know that they need to contact Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Okay. And one more question. Years ago, there were a plethora of facilities. A lot of changes through the state, a lot got shut down, and, could have been issues, staffing, they weren't doing what they're supposed to do. Moving forward with the problems that we have now, finding facilities for individuals. Been around DSS and mental health for a while, and friends work all over the state. I've had friends say they had to go to Florida to take a kid because they don't have anywhere in North Carolina. What's happening on that side as far as North Carolina opening up the process to have more facilities here? Because if we're, we know that's the problem, what are we doing about it? And what can we do about it as a board? Do we contact our legislators to talk to them? Because it's a lot of issues. And like I said, it's not just Wayne County. It's every county across the state that's having this issue, DSS, with facilities, whatever it may be. Yesterday, I got a call about a lady coming from New York to Wayne County. You know what I mean? Because she needs a group home. You know what I mean? And it was open bid. So I'm saying it's just everywhere. So are there anything that's being done or that we need to do on our side?
So, two things. Advocacy, that's number one is advocacy. With residential treatment providers, it is multidimensional in terms of getting them up and operational. And it starts with the provider making the connection to the Division of Regulatory Health Services, because they are the ones that do the licensing for the state of North Carolina for residential facilities. And then it's about the managed care organizations contracting with those providers to provide that service. So it's so multi-dimensional. When we, and I hate to go back to the cuts, but when we're talking about cutting funding, it takes an immense amount of dollars to build a facility-based crisis service for children and adolescents. Multi-millions of dollars to do that because of the complexities and making sure that you have all the safety and the quality pieces in place to provide effective care. It makes it even more difficult to build a service like that, say, in a more rural county, because you got to attract the workforce. You also have to have the foot traffic as well to provide the service, because it's on a fee-for-service basis. So if for some reason the facility-based crisis, and it may be great that none of our children need facility-based crisis, the provider still has to operate in order to maintain the service. So what happens at that point? So you have to be strategic and also look for ways to support and sustain the provider for that particular service.
Madam Chair, and if I could add, a lot of times, certain municipalities don't want like private residential housing, and that's a challenge too. You know, I think with me and Commissioner Foster, we were on the city council, there was a lot of pushback in communities when it came to housing, you know, people that were in need of services like that.
Yes, sir. That's a fair statement. Yes, sir. And we do hear that from some of our providers as well, the difficulty in finding property and also getting the permits that's needed to build those residential programs.
Thank you. I know it's been kind of strenuous here today, but
No,
we
it's
just
fine.
wanted to know.
It's fine. That's what I'm here for. And again, you all have my direct cell phone number. Please feel free to give me a call. You also have Commissioner Aycock, who she has me on speed dial. She can call at any time, as well as Mr. King.
We got one more question.
So,
Commissioner Gurley.
do y'all handle like Cap C, Medicaid?
You say Cap C? Yes, sir.
So would that be for someone that has, and I think I'm saying this right, hydrocephalus, which is a brain development disorder? Would that be something that would come up under your, as a child? Is that something that would come up under your?
I'm just thinking so, yes, sir. If you're
So-
talking about intellectual developmental disabilities,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
So it would be something, so you've got like an in-home care program for those that are keeping them, or you're keeping them at home. So that would be something that y'all would handle?
We have innovations, we manage the innovations waiver, right? And I can tell you that there is a wait list for that, and those slots come down from the General Assembly. But we do have in-home
Slots available. What are you talking about, like a facility?
for the actual innovation waiver health plan. So there's a wait list, and also we only get a minimum, well, not a minimum, but it's very few slots from the General Assembly for individuals to access the innovation waiver services, as I think what you're mentioning in terms of the in-home services for them. And it's a more robust service array.
So if somebody's already on that, I mean, I know of 3 instances that somebody's on it. They've been, of course, I'm sure they're following the Medicaid part of it, as far as decrease. So I'm just trying to figure out if they're still going to be allowed to maintain their program. I mean, because they've got children that are keeping at home. So you're saying that is something that y'all would handle, or is that something that another area would handle?
So if it's an individual that's on the innovations waiver, yes, we will continue to manage those services. Now, if it's an individual that is part of the foster care system and their families, then that will go to Blue Cross Blue Shield in December.
Yeah, they're not. So that's something, so in that same email, that you're sending, Ginger, make sure you include all that information and somebody that's got a contact so we can maintain the services for those families.
So,
in
yeah,
home.
okay. Information on the innovations waiver?
Well, they're already, all three of these they already have these services.
Mhm.
But we just want to make sure they maintain these services and they're not decreased.
Okay.
And that's just three that I know of in Wayne County.
It would also be helpful if we could, if you feel comfortable with sharing who it is, because then we can actually take a look to see.
I don't mind sharing it just as long as.
Not
they're
right now,
No,
because
no,
of the
I'm not,
public,
but,
yes.
but not as long as they're not targeted to, we just want to make sure that they're taken care of.
Yes, sir.
I'll talk to the family members to make sure, but,
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have any issues with that, so. No, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Anything else? Anything else for you, Ms. Jackson?
No.
It's been very informative today.
Yes, sir. And look, we have to have tough conversations in order to grow and do better, so
Well,
I
thank you so much for
appreciate it.
taking your time to come and
Yes, sir.
inform us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. King, Steve King, do you have anything you would like to add? Okay. All right, moving
Thank
on.
you. Moving along, we're a little bit past our 9:30 public hearing, but we'll open, a public hearing to receive public comments on an amendment to the Wayne County Mobile Home Park Ordinance to apply the ordinance standards to recreational vehicles, parks. The board may take action after the hearing is closed, and let Mary speak.
All right, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
This is a public hearing for an ordinance amendment. It's an ordinance amendment to our mobile home park ordinance. But what it is it does add RV parks or campgrounds, I guess you could say, to our mobile home park ordinance. So that way, the same standards that apply to mobile home parks would apply to RV parks as well. Right now, we're seeing quite a large number of folks who have shown interest in doing RV parks as opposed to mobile home parks. So we just want to make sure that we're ahead here and that we do have some standards in place. We looked at some other counties as well, and this seems to be what a lot of other counties are doing, is they apply the same standards that mobile home parks are to RV parks. So since we have started seeing a lot of interest, we thought we'd go ahead and do this so that we'd have these standards in place. So with that, we have advertised this public hearing. I have not received any comments at this point in the office, but it has been advertised. Any questions?
So the roads going in, will they be paved or be, crushed and run or?
It'll be crushed, it'll be stone. We require with mobile home parks 4-inch stone. Basically, the right-of-way itself would have to be 40 feet, but the actual crush and run area would have to be at least 20 for emergency vehicle access. And that was one of the main things too, is, we want standards, and our mobile home park is designed for emergency vehicle access as well. So we wanted to make sure we had those same standards too with RV parks, so an emergency vehicle could get back there, and access these facilities, these sites, if needed.
So fire hydrant wise, they're still the
Would be,
same?
that would apply as well.
And turnarounds at the end?
That would.
Is there a standard lot size for these RVs? or-
Not necessarily. They're going to be, most of them that are coming in or have interest are doing septic. So that's really going to, make your lots a little bit larger than, really small lots. But there are no actual minimum lot sizes, but because they'll have to be on septic, they'll have to have a little more area than you might typically would if you had an actual sewer system there, so.
There's, which it may have changed since I was on the planning board, but, with mobile home parks, it's 3 mobile homes or more. Has that changed?
No, it has not. You're right. It is 3 or more.
So it'd be the same with the RVs?
It would, yep.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Thank you.
And no one has signed up, Madam Chair, so we
Okay.
have no
Madam Chair,
Yes,
I make a motion that.
Need to close the public
we
hearing
got to
first.
close the public hearing first.
Madam Chair.
Chair, I make a motion you close to.
You can just close it yourself.
Okay. All right, I closed the, public hearing for the recreational vehicles. Okay,
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we, the Wayne County Mobile Home Park Ordinance is applied to the standards of the recreational vehicle parks.
okay. I have a motion on the floor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. On to public hearing number 2 is to receive public comments on an amendment to Chapter 6, Article 2 of the Wayne County Code of Ordinances entitled Agricultural Districts to include provisions allowing for enhanced voluntary agricultural districts. The board may take action following the hearing. Welcome, Ms. Johnson.
Good morning, Ms. Johnson.
Good morning. Jennifer Johnson, Wayne County Cooperative Extension Service, and we are having the public hearing for the voluntary and enhanced voluntary ag districts. This is to update the ordinance on the voluntary ag districts and to also include the enhanced voluntary ag districts. The enhanced voluntary ag district, the difference there is it is a 10-year irrevocable agreement to maintain the farmland in farmland, so it's a farmland preservation system. And the benefits of the enhanced voluntary ag district is that the farmers can, up to 25% of their gross sales can be non-farm products. They can, they will get priority in cost share funds from the Wayne County Soil and Water Conservation District, and they'll also get priority consideration in certain types of grants and conservation easements.
Have you received any comments from this?
No.
From the public?
No, but it was advertised and I've not received any comments. I did get the previous voluntary ag district board has voted on this and is recommending this. And I have sent it to the North Carolina Department of Agriculture ADFP program, and they recommended it as well.
Madam Chair, so if they're in the ag district, the 10-year deal, irrevocable, what is the, if somebody would come along, I'm just gonna use just say they're farming it, and somebody comes, and they pass away in 3 years into it, they come along, they want to, sell the land to a developer, can they do that or not do that?
No.
They cannot do that.
It follows the deed for 10 years.
For 10 years, okay. It is on the deed, okay. That's what I want to make sure.
And then from what I read too, it renews unless the property owner gives a 30-day written notice, like for it not to automatically renew.
Right.
Nobody signed to speak at this public hearing either.
Okay. Any more questions?
These programs are specifically designed to preserve our agriculture and rural farmland.
Yes.
Do we have rural property owners that participate in the voluntary program now?
Yes, they are.
I have no other questions, Madam Chair.
All right, I close the public hearing.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the amendment to Chapter 6, Article 2 of the Wayne County Code of Ordinance entitled Agricultural Districts to provide provisions allowing enhanced voluntary agricultural districts.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. Commissioner Grove? Okay. Motion passed.
Thank you all for that vote. Moving on now, we'd like to get approval of the consent agenda that we went over at our 8 o'clock agenda briefing.
So moved, Madam Clerk.
I have a motion to approve the consent agenda by Commissioner Aycock. Raise your hand.
All those in favor of the consent agenda? All those against?
Okay, consent
Thank you
agenda
for that.
passed.
Moving on to new business, item number 14 is a motion to accept the tax collector's settlement for calendar year 2024 taxes and prior years. And Alan Nutkin is here.
Our favorite tax man. Hope you're doing well.
I am, yes, ma'am. We are here today this is a statutory thing we do every year. We present this to you to accept our settlement for our previous 24-25 tax year. And then the second part of this, you'll actually send me on to do my job to collect the upcoming taxes. For the first part, we have a slideshow, I think. Carol?
We do. That is not it. Bear with me just a second. That one right there. My apologies, I should have had it. And you want to drive it yourself?
I'll let you do it if you want to. Thank you.
Okay.
I can't drive and talk at the same time. You can go ahead to the next one, if you will.
Okay.
As I mentioned, this is a statutory requirement each year for us to present this to you. The settlement must be accepted by the tax collector before the tax collector may be charged with the next tax levy, which I mentioned also. The settlement must provide a report of diligent efforts to collect unpaid taxes, which I will show that later on in this presentation. This is some big numbers. We did a great job. Almost $65 million we levied last year. The biggest takeaway from this one, I'm very proud of our staff. That one in red, 98.51% collection rate. That is the highest Wayne County has ever had. I'm very proud of our staff. They did a great job this year getting that, and we have to do that by June 30th. That's our deadline for collection to get this percentage for the auditor. I think last year it was 98.38, I think, 37, 38, something like that. So they did a very good job. I commend them for what they did. The effort they put forth, all of our department goes into this, but especially our collections for this particular part of it. So any questions on this slide as far as the dollar amounts or anything?
Is the outstanding balances is $960,256? That's what has not been paid?
Correct. That's the other percent, 1.49% we didn't collect yet. I can say that 98.51 is now actually probably about 98.85 or something like that. So we don't stop. It's just for audit purposes, so we don't stop collecting.
All right, and going forward, if you do not collect all, what happens after the outstanding balance is not collected within?
It depends. We can enforce collections up to 10 years. So we are going to be garnishing wages, attaching bank accounts, and eventually it might go to Mr. Our county attorney here to foreclose on it if it's real estate. So we have other methods to collect that. So we work diligently on that too. So that number definitely goes up over the years.
What's included in the rebates?
Rebates, we have a good instance of that. We have companies, especially our business personal property. They list everything in January of each year. Well, they may come back after we bill and say, we listed this incorrectly. We actually had listed this equipment, it was sold prior to January 1st. So anything we have to adjust on those bills once we bill them, that's considered a rebate or release.
Okay. Thank you.
What is wrong with this machine today?
User.
Don't say the.
Operator.
I just said don't say that. We tried again, then I'm not touching.
That's why I don't want to drive it.
If you've got pilot license, I'm not gonna fly with you.
This is the previous year from back in 2006, actually, this is old taxes. If you notice a big chunk of this, there's that middle part's motor vehicles, and you say, why are motor vehicles up there? We don't do that, but this is prior to 2014 when we actually used to build this. And these are old vehicles. Back in the day, they were very transient. We had a terrible collection rate on vehicles when we built them, which I'll talk about the future now in just a few minutes, but those old vehicles are probably never be collected because of the way it was built back in the day. They got their tag first and they built them later and tried to collect it, and that was not a good program. As we learned, and our legislatures corrected that, and I'll go over that in just a second.
Oh. I seriously am clicking it one time.
This is our new BTS system. This is how now it's currently, whenever you get your tax renewal in the mail, it actually has the renewal fee and the taxes on that. And when you go to DMV to renew your tag, you pay the taxes right then before you get the tag. So we have an excellent collection rate on this. It actually says 97.72. That's usually due because of a timing issue when the new vehicles get loaded into the system. It's pretty much 100% collection rate. It's a wonderful thing. It does a great job collecting our vehicle taxes ahead of time now. And that changed, like I said, late fall of 2013 is when that changed. It's been like that ever since. Have 117,449 registered vehicles in Wayne County.
Seems low.
We were a pilot county when we did that.
No, we were. We sure were. Back in the day.
Here to hit the button.
These are
None of
just-
that, none of that's working.
These are some
It's trying to-
statistics we have over for our enforced collections. As we mentioned earlier about our enforced collections, this is some of the stuff we did. You notice our wage garnishments were up this year, levies, rent attachments, foreclosures, and the reason you see a drop in some of these is because we are doing that collection rate, as it goes up, these go down, which is a good thing, which means people are paying on time, we're getting more money up front. So we don't have to do these enforced collection things, so that's a good thing. And that's all I have for you, ma'am, and board. So we need a motion to accept this settlement if you want to accept it, and vote on that, and then we'll move to the next one.
Madam Chair, I make a motion we accept the tax collector's settlement for calendar year 24 taxes and prior years.
Got a motion on the floor, Commissioner Gurley, to accept the settlement calendar for 2024.
No discussion, all those in favor?
Next item, number 15, you also need a motion to approve the order directing the tax collector to collect the taxes charged in the tax records and receipts for calendar year 2025 and all prior years' outstanding taxes.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve order directing the tax collector to collect the taxes charged in the tax records and receipts for calendar year 2025 and all prior years' outstanding taxes.
Any
Commissioner Williams?
discussion?
Any discussions?
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Unanimous.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams.
Thank you for doing your job, Alan.
Thank
We
you.
really
Thank
appreciate
you,
it
you're
very
welcome.
much.
And I will mention that we did complete the 2025 billing, thanks to our IT Director, Georgia Christoph. We did that last week, and it has been sent to our print vendor. They are printing as we're speaking now. It'll probably be in the mail late this week or first of next week, so season's greetings from the tax department.
Oh, Alan,
Thank
do
you.
you mind, you know, the call that I got about the woman that claimed about her $300 increase on taxes, could you explain kind of what happened here? Because we might get another call.
It's definitely gonna be, what Ms. Acock's mentioning, I'm not mentioning any names, but it's a general problem, it's not a problem, it's just reality. Anytime that you have a loan on your property, in most cases, you have an escrow account, which means when you make your monthly payment, part of it goes to your principal and interest, part goes to your taxes, and part goes to your property insurance. The escrow account collects all that at X time during the year, they will pay out that money to the insurance and the taxes to cover that. Anytime there's a change in those amounts, it's gonna adjust your monthly payment. So in this case, what happened was the person's property tax, monthly payment had gone up. They sent her something from the bank saying her payment was going up. In this case, it was not us, it was actually insurance, I think, because we did have a tax rate increase this past year, but I think in this particular instance, the tax part of it went up $46 for the whole year. And she mentioned it was a $300 change, so it was not us, it must have been insurance. However, that being said, we had a revow this year, and we did lower the tax rate to offset some of that increase. In some cases, some people's tax bills will go up because of their revaluation.
Say that again, we did what?
You lower the tax rate. So what's gonna happen is, I would imagine, whenever these bills go out now, escrow accounts usually get paid in November. So the banks will come and pay all their clients' bills in November. They do an analysis on that sometime after that. If they have a deficit in their escrow account, they have to make that up. So the homeowner will be sent a letter saying, hey, your tax bill, your tax or insurance went up some, your payment's gonna have to go up to offset that. So that's what will happen in some cases.
And I would assume other people would get some of the same thing. That's why I wanted
Oh,
everyone to be
yes,
aware of it.
yes, ma'am, that's a reality, and that could happen any year, and it can't, but it's not necessarily taxes, it could be insurance as well, so it's a double thing there possibly.
And everybody's reval went up a different percent.
Correct.
Everybody was the same, so everybody's increase is not gonna be the same.
That is exactly right, yes, sir.
My actually my bill went up even though you lowered taxes.
Mine too.
Mine do.
That's great.
Thank you, Alan.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Moving on to number 16 is a motion to adopt a resolution by the County of Wayne authorizing execution of opioid settlements with secondary opioid manufacturers Purdue Pharma LP and the Sackler family, and approving a third supplemental agreement for additional opioid funds.
This has been, I've mentioned this several times when we discuss opioid funds. Purdue Pharma was one of the big manufacturers who was identified in the class action lawsuit when this first started years and years ago. They went into bankruptcy, and then I'm sure you've heard in the news that that plan that was achieved out of bankruptcy went to the Supreme Court, and there were some rulings on that, so it had to go back down. They have now reached a final agreement, which is included in this resolution. Also, there's 8 additional secondary manufacturers that are relatively minor settlements that we have lumped together. All your opioid settlement funds are governed by the MOA that the state issued originally when these first came down. We have done 2 supplemental agreements to that, and those were with pharmacies and some other manufacturers, just to make sure that those secondary funds, those supplemental funds, are also covered under the MOA. So this is similar to what you've done in the past. It's just going to cover those new funds and make sure that they're governed by the MOA. So once you pass this today, then they will send documentation to the manager to execute the document so that we can join on to this additional settlement fund and receive some more money out of the Purdue settlement.
Madam Chair, make a motion that we adopt a resolution by the County of Wayne authorizing execution of opioid settlements with secondary opioid manufacturers Purdue Pharma LP and the Sackler family, and approving the third supplemental agreement for additional opioid funds.
We have a motion on the floor. Any
What,
questions?
Madam Clerk, how much, what kind of money are we talking about?
We don't know yet. They have to wait to see. So all the municipalities and the counties have to opt in to the settlement, and only after everyone opts in are they going to be able to tell us how much money that we'll receive. But the percentage that we will receive is still governed by the MOA. So it'll be the same percentage, but we just need to make sure the total amount can't be determined until everyone opts in. And then any municipalities that have a population over a certain amount also have to sign on. And Goldsboro, my understanding is they approved theirs last night. So Wayne County should get the maximum amount.
Any more questions? Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Daughtry to approve the third supplement agreement for additional opioid funds.
All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, thank you for that. Moving on to number 17 is a motion to adopt a resolution to place a 1/4 of 1 cent local sales tax on the March 3rd, 2026 ballot. And if you would like, I will read that resolution if you would like.
Please.
Okay. Whereas the North Carolina General Assembly has authorized county boards of commissioners across the state of North Carolina to levy a 1/4 of 1 cent county sales and use tax contingent on an advisory referendum in which the majority of those casting ballots in the county vote for the levy of the tax. And whereas the education and safety of the children of Wayne County is a core mission of the Wayne County Board of Commissioners, and whereas Wayne County is faced with extraordinary funding pressures in providing school resource officers to all schools within its jurisdiction, and whereas school resource officers serve as mentors to children and provide the safest environment possible for the students, teachers, and staff at all Wayne County public schools, and whereas the Wayne County Board of Education has identified capital needs, and whereas the Wayne County Board of Commissioners will use the funds of the sales tax referendum to fund additional school resource officers and capital projects for Wayne County public schools, and whereas the implementation of a 1/4 cents local option tax excluding gas, prescription medication, and non-prepared foods or groceries is anticipated to generate approximately $3,411,990 in revenue per year in Wayne County for school funding. Now therefore, the Wayne County Board of Commissioners hereby directs the Wayne County Board of Elections as follows: conduct an advisory referendum on the question of whether to levy a local sales and use tax in the county as provided in NC General Statutes 105-535. The election shall be held on March the 3rd, 2026, primary, and shall be held in accordance with the procedures of the North Carolina General Statutes 163-287. The form of the question to be presented on a ballot for the election concerning the levy of the taxes established by the North Carolina General Statutes as local sales use and tax at a rate of 1/4% in addition to all other state and local sales and use taxes. Passed and adopted this day, the 19th of August, 2025. Wayne County Board of Commissioners, Chairwoman Barbara Aycock.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt a resolution to place the 1/4 of 1 cent local sales tax on the March 3rd, 2026 ballot.
Madam Chair, I did have a question.
Yes.
And that is, we may not be able to place on the referendum, on the ballot, the purpose of which.
Correct. The language that's in the resolution is set by statute.
Okay, thank you.
You can pass resolutions and you can state publicly what you will be using the money for. You're certainly free to do that, but that information cannot be on the ballot.
How do we plan on putting this out to the public on why we need this? I know resolution, but most people don't see resolutions or read resolutions.
I think Joel's planning that.
Madam-
Public affairs is gonna be.
Public affairs?
Madam Chair, and, you know, this, we've tried this, I think, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we've tried this ever since me and you've been on the board. And rest in peace, Commissioner Mayo did an outstanding job on trying to sell it when he was a commissioner before he passed away. And, I don't know how we're gonna get it passed, but people just do not understand that everybody pays sales tax. Everybody does not pay property tax, and it's just this, that a lot of what this will raise will benefit some of the underprivileged, because it's all going to the school system. I mean, the county's not gonna get a penny of it, correct?
Well, the county's getting it.
I mean, the county's getting
We're
it, but
gonna
we're gonna transfer it to the school system. And this is all about our children. I mean, and there's not but so much money out there. And if you get right down to it, you're already paying the 1/4 cent. I mean, I've never seen a penny split 4 ways. And my understanding is that it's already being collected, it's just the state's keeping the money, we're not getting it.
Majority of it.
The majority of it, and I don't know how to sell it, but,
Joe does.
Joe does, and we've got to support him, and, because this is a must. I mean, this is all about our children. This is not about what the county needs. This is what the school system needs.
Well, this is something to protect our children and grandchildren, or at least help protect them. So.
And Madam Chair, the only other point I would like to make, and that is that when you go and spend money in Raleigh, Greenville, Snow Hill, Jacksonville, Clinton, Fayetteville, or anywhere in Duplin County, you're paying that 7 cents. So it's time that we join together here in Wayne County and keep our money here in Wayne County and not give it to the state.
And we can stand here and preach about this till several times, but I mean, people just don't understand. They don't want to pay taxes, and they don't understand that this tax, everybody pays it. And like I said before, everybody does not pay property tax. And I don't know how to explain it to them, other than just keep trying.
Vote yes.
Exactly.
Vote yes.
Okay, call the question.
Okay. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All those against?
All righty, that passes. Thank you for that. Moving on to number.
Before we do that, sir, I apologize, but this morning during our appointment, I had not put appointments on here because typically the appointment committee meets on that and we hadn't met on the stuff that we talked about this morning. So, it's my fault that it's not on here, but we do have some recommendations or actual
Okay.
appointments.
Let me finish with new business first, and then we'll go back to
Oh, I thought we were, I'm so sorry.
one last add-on here. Number 18 is a motion to upfront the monies, the financial portions for raising the power line located over a proposed railroad spur at Park East, also including upfronting the cost for the relocation and encasing of Wayne Water District's water lines. Both of these are reimbursable from grant funds we are due to receive, and both of these are pending county manager and county attorney approval before expending.
Madam Chair, I move the motion as stated.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Any questions?
Yes, what's the total cost?
It'd be just a little bit less than $1 million. That's completely reimbursable.
Yes, all of them are reimbursable. There's two projects out at Lot 7 to complete the spur. One is to raise the power lines so that the cars can clear in accordance with federal regulations, and the other one is a water district line that needs to be encased. And there are grant funds with the state. However, there needs to be a local government to front those funds, and then we'll be reimbursed. And that's why we've made it contingent on our approval to make sure that we get documentation of the reimbursement before we expend those funds.
Any more questions? We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Daughtry to approve, front the funds.
All votes? That's unanimous?
Thank you.
And any amount that's not covered by those grants will be paid by the company, by Alianza. So we're not on the hook for any of those.
Madam Chairman, Madam Chairwoman, the appointment committee does have two issues that we would like to bring before the board, in that we're not meeting for our September meeting. The first motion is to approve the appointments, the reappointments, as recommended by the Fremont Planning and Adjustment Boards, for the reappointment of Mr. Wayne Jackson and Mr. Steve Hooks. These are for additional 3-year terms, and that has been approved by the Fremont Board of Aldermen. So that is in form of a motion.
We have a motion on the floor to reappoint Mr. Jackson and Mr. Hooks for Fremont.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. That is passed unanimously.
And additionally, we are making a motion to appoint Lynette Wynn to the Library Advisory Board.
Okay, any questions? Motion on the floor for Ms. Lynette Wynns for the library board.
All those in favor, raise your right hand, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Daughtry. All right.
Okay, thank you for that. County Manager's Report, I just say congratulations to all those employees that received their anniversary pins, and congratulations again to the leadership group that took the time to commit to learning more about county government. And that's all from me.
Okay.
Oh, Ginger has one she'd like to add.
Just real briefly, I asked Kim and Suzanne to stay. I just wanted to make the board aware we are moving into our new Health and Human Services building, September 2nd.
Hallelujah.
Yes. So that's Tuesday, September 2nd. Doors will open at 8 a.m. We are having a grand opening. We would invite you to come out. We would love to see you there. We just got some nice little giveaways and some vendors on site, but the vendors are county departments. We'll have the library, human resources, GWTA services that are available to everyone in the county. So I just want to make you aware of that, and we hope we see you on September 2nd.
And how are we transitioning in that week?
So we are going to be closed to the public for public walk-in next week, Monday through Friday. Services are available by phone. We have several services that are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so phone and email is still available. But for 1 week, we are close to walk-in traffic.
What time will that be, Ginger, do you anticipate?
8 a.m.,
8 a.m.
8 to 12.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Good luck next week.
Are you happy?
I've been there a month already. We've been transitioning.
Long overdue.
We're proud of it.
The sheriff would like to speak and he just has a little update he'd like to provide.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. I know there's been some question about the accreditation process. The team has been and visited us as of last week, and the accreditation process should start about the 1st of October. It takes about 2 years to get it after that, but it is in the process and has officially started.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
All right. Commissioner Williams.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I received a Facebook message from one of my constituents in Mount Olive, and someone had posted something, I just want to clarify it. It said, to the Wayne County Commissioners, my name is a citizen in Mount Olive. I am running for an office in Mount Olive, and I had planned to address your board after the elections, but it cannot wait. I am petitioning the board as a concerned citizen. We need a hand, not a handout. We need funding south of the Neuse River. Funds dried up after Commissioner was defeated. We have serious issues with our sewage, drainage, and water. Please appropriate emergency funding. I'm afraid if we don't get control of these issues, we'll become an island needing boats to get to Goldsboro. Remember, a helping hand, not a handout. Thank you in advance. So I wanted to clarify, this particular board doesn't have control over the city of Mount Olive. They have their own town commission. And I also wanted to clarify there were funds that the board received, that Mount Olive received. In 2023, the town accepted $14 million in federal funding for sewer system improvements. And in February of 2025, they received an additional $6.7 million in block grants and state wastewater and valuable utility reserve funds for sewer line rehabilitation projects, as well as $7.3 million in community development block grant infrastructure grants for sewer improvement. So I just want to let the individual know you have to address that with the town of Mount Olive and their elected officials. From my standpoint, I have advocated to resolve the sewer issues that are taking place in Mount Olive. I believe Mount Olive is a great community, and we need to clear a lot of those issues up that they are facing. But it didn't start here. There is funds available. Ask your elected officials what they are doing with those funds. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, Commissioner Daughtry.
I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't say it, but that just is startling to me that over $27 million has been allocated to Mount Olive to resolve the sewer issue over the last 12 years, and they're still on moratorium.
That's correct.
I'll hush. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Aycock.
Well, since the subject's been brought up, I understand that they've broken the moratorium, so I don't know what the outcome's gonna be on that. But this is serious business. EPA and, they don't play. So, I wish Mount Olive all the luck in the world, but, I've always been told you got to help yourself before anybody else can help you. So I'll leave it at that.
Commissioner Foster.
No comment.
Mr. Hall.
Yes, ma'am, thank you, Madam Chair, had the chance to attend the ECC, Eastern Carolina Conference meeting last week, learned some things there when it comes to our aging population and funds that they provide. I'd like to thank the staff here for all the work, Ginger, and just all the folks that you mentioned with the program today. I thought that was great and a great opportunity. I'm excited to see that, because sometimes I don't think we do enough to promote ourselves in everything that we have, whatever the organization is. And as I've had the privilege of serving as a commissioner these few months, I've learned a lot as to what you do as a staff, but what the county provides to the citizens of Wayne. And I include myself in this. Not many people really realize all the services that our county government provides. So thank you for everything that you're doing. Andrew, you too, all of our staff, Sheriff, and all of you, Sarah, everything that you're doing for us. Also keep in mind that school is getting ready to start back, for our children, all of our public and private institutions and our colleges, right, if they haven't already started back. So open house is going on this week for many schools, as well as the 25th. Our public schools, I know, are starting back, so keep our teachers and our children for their safety and having another great year this year in your thoughts and prayers. The University of Mount Olive's having their convocation on the 23rd, and Dr. Crims invited me to attend that, so I'm looking forward to going to that and just getting the year started. This will be the first year I've not been in an education role in about 30 years, so that'll be interesting to see how that feels on that Monday morning
We
when I
need to
wake
take your
up.
temperature on that day.
Yeah. But thank you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Gurley?
Yes, ma'am. Highway projects, Berkeley Boulevard. It's slated to start January, February 26th from New Hope Road, improvements from New Hope Road to I-42. Wayne Memorial Drive, same section, New Hope Road to 42 is slated to start in March of 26, so that'll be both routes. Major routes coming in from the north, eastern part of the county, under construction at the same time. Not most ideal thing, but we've tried to figure out a way to rearrange it, and there's not a way. The highway, so go to Rural Avenue, project is about 78% complete, and it's slated to be finished February of 26. The Salisbury Road intersection improvement on 13 North is will be under construction at the same time as the Berkeley Boulevard, the January, February timeframe. 13 North turn lane projects from Salisbury Road to the county line are in the acquisition stage, land acquisition or right-of-way acquisition. And it's slated to start sometime late 26. The section from 40 on Waymore Drive from 42 to the creek, or Stony Creek Church Road, the widening part of that, we tried to move it up to be able to try to alleviate some of the traffic on Waymore Drive getting to the highway, but it's not slated to start until 28. So that's we're still in the process of trying to figure out how to make that happen, but that's probably not going to work. We've had a couple of sewer meetings, the one at for Eureka. We're in the process, the final stages of selecting the route and and having the engineer go out and provide the plans and all for construction. We had a sewer regional sewer meeting last week, and we are in the process of trying to finalize which plan we're going to go with, which whether it's a regional or a Goldsboro plan. And the last thing is send our condolences to the sheriff and his family in the passing of his father-in-law, Mr. Lynch. They will be at Seymour Funeral Home tonight from 5 to 7 for visitation. So, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Commissioner. Question on what Commissioner Williams brought up about Mount Olive. Is there not some kind of authority, sort of like what we have for Eureka, that could come in and kind of set pace for Mount Olive? Because evidently, we don't have the correct people in place to get these projects kicked off and done properly.
They are a part of the regional system, or will be a part of the regional system if they so choose to be a part of it. And that's how it was left at the last meeting.
How are they gonna handle the problem they've already got until that? get put
Till all
in
that
place?
is taken care of.
I don't mean this ugly, but they put their, I'll keep my mouth shut. That ain't our, that's something they gotta deal with on their own.
Yeah, well,
As Commissioner Williams said, they've had about $27 million to fix their issue. 28, whatever. So,
evidently.
I mean, I'm not throwing stones. I mean, I don't know the whole situation down there, but, I mean, $27 million do a lot of work, or $28 million do a whole lot of work in a sewer system, so.
Yeah, but I found a lot of times in these situations in small towns, you don't have the expertise to distribute these grants and work through these problems and put the money where it needs to be. But seems to me that some kind of structure should be made.
They've got the opportunity to be a part of a regional system which would solve their issue.
Mount Olive is it has so much great potential.
Yeah, it does.
It really, really does. I mean, if you've ever visited Mount Olive, such nice people, they deserve to get out of the moratorium. There's so much opportunity to repair a lot of the homes. They can't even get water lines, waste lines to them. You know, I'm disappointed. I've done what I could do. I can't step on any town commissioner's toes. Not trying to throw anything negative to those individuals, but that's where the problem lies. It's the truth of the matter. A lot of times people think that we as county commissioners for Wayne County, that we have control over other municipalities, and that's not the case. So I just wanted to get it on the record, you know, in regard to that.
We want it fixed just as much as they do. We've got some industrial land down there, but we'd like to develop, but we can't develop without a sewer system, so.
Well, I know citizens are going to each meeting just screaming for help and wanting, you know, they recognize the problem, but it's like they don't know where to go and what to do, you know.
We've got some suggestions and have put it toward those that were at the meeting, and it's in their hands for them to say, yeah, we want to do that. So the sooner the better, so
Yeah.
I would encourage them to jump on our regional system, you know, so we can get started on that. Because it's all in on day one after the fact, then it's gonna cost somebody a lot of money.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
It was mentioned about another sewer line from Eureka. I mean, I didn't think that line going from Eureka to Fremont was all that old. I mean.
That's something totally different. Fremont can't handle their own, enough of their sewage on that part, so we're running another line from Eureka back to Goldsboro, which will be important to the regional system. We've not decided on the line, we've not decided on the route yet.
The Eureka lines that are presently there were buried and were slit lined not properly, and that's where all the water's coming in. I mean, you will never gain anything with the Eureka line unless it's replaced.
Eureka will be on a gravity system, and then they'll be pumped to Goldsboro.
Through the Forest Main, I assume. Fremont.
And also,
That's a different land.
Mr. Harold mentioned, you know, that he had learned a lot since he's been on the board. I think Joe would agree with him. We're the only two that's been here the longest. When I come on this board, I had all the answers. When I got here, I didn't even know what the questions were. I mean, the county government is very complex. And you know, you still got a lot to learn, because I'm still learning, and I've been on the board 13 years.
Well, when you quit learning, you quit making things happen.
Yeah, that's true.
I got a thank you card here from Mayor Charles Gaylor and his family. I would like to read. I so appreciate the plant in memory of my father. Mom and I wish to express thanks to each of you for your calls, checking in, and support. Take care. Best wishes, Mayor Charles Gaylor. And I want to congratulate our graduates, you know, their leadership. I think that is fantastic. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Ginger, for a job well done. You know, when we develop our staff, our jobs get much easier. And I've always seen that, you know, in my profession, you know, when you got talented staff, that just continues to go on with new staff that comes in, you know, and it makes a good place to work when you have people that know what they need to do and everything. And our anniversary pins, we keep growing. These ones here for a year, maybe 5 years, they'll be back up here, keeping good staff in place. So thank y'all for what y'all do. And Georgia, thank you as well. You're always there for all our computer problems. Sheriff Pierce, I'm sorry for your loss. I just found out about that and everything. Do extend my wishes to your family. That's all I
I
have.
got one more thing.
He's got
I
one
did,
more thing.
we asked, the TSC asked the DOT to do a TIA at a traffic, study from William Street, on Pake Town Road, from William Street all the way to Mears Bluff. So they will be doing that in the next 6 to 12 months.
I got one more thing as well. I want to thank our new engineer at DOT. I made a call at Rosewood, I don't know how many, there at Walmart, that there at stoplight, there was always a flood there. And within 3 days, they came out and fixed the problem where the water would drain there at stoplight. I rode through there the other day when we got a lot of rain and the water was draining really well, because that was an accident waiting to happen with how people were flying through there in the water all across the road. So I want to thank DOT, our Wayne County DOT.
Who is our engineer now?
Do not know firsthand.
Have they hired anybody yet?
They
Yeah.
got somebody now, yeah.
I
Very nice
I have
guy.
one thing I'd like to add.
Yeah.
That we go back to the sewer conversation.
Yes.
Difficult subject, very drawn-out process. I told, when we started this, I'd like to thank this board for taking the steps towards driving the issue of a regional sewer solution, because it was you that started it in the grant applications that we applied for AI asset inventory studies and the first MRF phase 1. If this board had never taken that and you come up with these issues now, we'd be 2-3 years behind where we are today. So thank you for being proactive on something that's a very hot topic, not just with Mount Olive, but every town and the county. And trying to come up with some solution to think forward on that. And thankful that we're here where we are today, even though it's a drawn-out process and we like solutions instantly. It's not always instant. It's big money, but we have to get to that step. And you say, how do we pay for it? We have to get to the planning stage to figure out how much it's even going to cost before we end up figuring out how we're going to pay for it, or what, avenues we're going to take for the solutions. And it's not going to be probably anything that we even see ultimately in the end, but in the future, generations will appreciate the work that you put in. So just thankful that we're 3 years ahead of where, if we were just starting that conversation today. So is that important?
Yes, it is.
Commissioner Acott, Chris Overman is the new.
Chris Overman?
I can forward his information if you want.
You know, Chris.
Oh, yeah, I know, yeah. I'm glad he got the job.
Yeah. Very responsive.
District engineer's office.
And he's
Do you want
looking.
the maintenance guy?
Right.
Good.
Ready to adjourn?
Yep. Any more questions? Ready to go? We are adjourned. Thank you.